Hey, I'm Chanel Loren and I'm here chatting with Milky. I've always did performing arts from like a young age. When I was like 3, I did ballet and stuff. And I wanted to be a ballet dancer, but then realized I don't like physical, like I don't like to push myself physically. And so I was like, oh, maybe I'll get into acting. But then I was like, oh, what if I have a mental breakdown because I think I'm this character? And so I was like, oh, maybe not. I kind of like singing, but I don't think I can sing. And then so I did musical theatre because I was like, I'll do all 3 of them. I did that in London. And then I moved to Australia and I studied musical theatre for like 2 weeks and realized, no, I just want to do music. So I studied music from there, then went to uni. And then, yeah, I made songs and didn't really release them until properly in 2020. So that's how my music career started. Between Two Worlds was made from a point of view of where I was between two worlds, literally. I moved to Australia and I just felt like I didn't fit in, but then I would go back home. And because I've been in Australia, there's certain lingos I would say, or I don't remember certain places anymore. I felt like I fitted in to London, but also Australia at the same time. And at that time, when I was creating the EP, it was really hard. I didn't understand how to process my feelings. At first, I thought I had to make an EP that just spoke about it, but then I realized it's just me being me, and that's what makes me between two worlds. But yeah, it had different genres, naturally, didn't choose for it to have different genres. It just happened that way. I think finding my sound, I'm still on the journey of that. I don't think there's ever a goal. I think it's just an evolution. It was really hard, which kind of is between two worlds. I felt like it was hard to find producers, still is. I knew I wanted to do R&B, but I knew I wasn't like a full R&B artist. And so it was just trying to navigate through that world of, well, I like this sound and I like this sound. And I also like this, let's make it a me sound. So it's just like different influences. So my first song I released was Playlist. And I say it's a homage to like garage because I didn't mean to do that. I kind of wrote a song prior to that and the producer showed me this beat and I was like, oh, I like how quirky this is. It kind of reminds me of the UK, but it also reminds me of like Smino, a SoundCloud rapper. So it felt like different elements and influences that I've had. And so I think that's what it is. I just gravitate to whatever influences me. I'm not too sure what genre that is, but it's some sort of subgenre of R&B and soul and jazz. And Between Two Worlds evolved, I think, backwards, and I think that's how my brain works. I came up with the name of the EP like 2 years before the EP was even made. After having like a breakdown to management being like, I don't fit in anywhere. And one of my managers was like, it's okay to be between two worlds. And I just stopped crying. I was like, that's the name of the EP. So like, I think that's what I realized it was. And it just slowly happened. I just started to get into sessions. I made Ring Ring. That was my first song I made on the EP. I knew that was it. And then it just slowly, it was like a push and pull situation. It was really hard. And I kind of was like, oh, I'm not too sure if this is enough. Maybe I should do 7 songs. And the more I listened to it and I played about with the order, I realized that this is how it should be. And I'm normally a perfectionist, but I kind of was a bit like, Chanel, you have no more juice in you. Like, it is what it is. You can try again for the next EP. Like, this is where you're at. I think it was just acceptance of this is who I am and this is where I'm at, and being okay with that. I'm starting to realize what the distinct process is. For me, I like to write by myself. So it's just trying to make that a habit of like, okay, maybe twice a month, I'm going to go to a studio and write. I don't want to make it weekly because I feel like whenever you try and make it weekly, you're wasting your time. Like, just more of like maybe the days is like I'm studying songwriting then if I can't write a song. And then I do feel like sometimes, which is a rare occasion, I can write a full song with someone and it turns out good. So I think I'm more an introverted creative. I really like to work by myself, but there are people that bring out certain things in me where I'm too shy to bring out to myself. So yeah. Building a visual identity is very important. Especially because I am a Black woman and there are responsibilities I feel, probably just my own personal responsibilities I feel, I always feel like I have to be on or look good or like have good angles because there isn't that many of us, representing Australian music. So I'm very particular with that. I try to give freedom to the director as well, but I am vocal. I am very like, I don't like that type of thing. We just need to meet in the middle. I love creative directing a little bit, and also with hair and makeup and the style, I do create mood boards myself. So I'm quite hands-on. I'm a control freak, but I allow people that are better than me to do their job. I do this and I feel like it is a superpower, but also I need to be a bit realistic. I feel like I live in my own world. Like I live in my bubble. I don't really care about how it kind of affects other worlds. I only care about if worlds get into my bubble, if that makes sense. So I don't really focus on how R&B isn't really a thing in this industry. Because it will be a thing. And if I did focus on that, then I think it would slow me down. So I just kind of live in my own world, create in my own world, and hopefully it will gravitate the right people or bring the right people. I feel like gravitate was the wrong word for it. Yeah. I would say Carelessly Doomed. I think Carelessly Doomed, surprisingly, is a universal song. I think any age, any music, anyone that likes any background of music, anyone from a different background will like that song. I think it's a feel-good song, but if you listen to the lyrics, it's very relatable. Yeah, I think Carelessly Doomed is the one I would show anyone. I used to be scared of showing that one to people, so it's very ironic that I'm confident with that one now. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Okay. A line or a melody that's stuck in my head. Boy, Is You Serious? I feel like that one would be stuck in my head because I say that every other week, to be honest. Okay. Why you wear designer but you never say my name? I think that's good because everyone knows Chanel, but no one knows Chanel Loren. And I think that has been my energy for like the past 10 years. So yeah. And I'm wearing Chanel right now. So shout out to Chanel. I feel like it's so up in the air right now because I'm still establishing myself. I kind of just take whatever comes to me, but hopefully, I'm not too sure if it's a bit too late for festivals, but maybe next year, festivals. And I plan, hopefully, I'm opening for some international acts, this year. Sorry, I just got asked that question earlier in the Uber. I was like, damn, this guy was preparing me for these questions. But he was like, who's your idol? I was like, I don't idolize anyone. Musical influences, I would say Amy Winehouse, Anderson .Paak, Shaka Khan, Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, SZA. I feel like I would love to have a collab with SZA. Another dream collab would be Frank Ocean. think it's Graduation, the purple one by Kanye West. That had a really big impact on me. I think that's what made me think, oh, I don't have to fit into one genre. If you said TV show, I would have said Insecure. I would have did that. I would say The Truman Show. I used to love that show. Yeah, The Truman Show. Breathe. Think of this next step. Interact with the audience. So, like, are they liking this? They better like it. Yeah, mainly breathe. I feel like when I sing, it forces me to breathe. I don't know how to breathe in general. So it's quite meditative for me. Yeah, and be present. Yeah, I think that's what I think when I'm performing, which is nice, to be present. I don't know how to be present. Ooh, this is a hard one because the younger me says Hannah Montana because I love Hannah Montana. And she actually made me want to be secretive. I was like, I don't want people to know who I am. So Hannah Montana, but then Miley Cyrus. I love Miley. So both. It's so weird. The first song that came to my head, and I can't even remember what it was, but I did an audition and it was Oliver Twist. I can't remember what song it was, which is really bad. But I think that was the first song that I learned how to sing because I had to like practice it and I got used to it. I just can't remember it, but it was Oliver Twist. The first concert I went to was T-Pain. Yeah, it was really fun. And like, I think that was the other concert. I went to another one with Trey Songz and Neo with my other friend. But yeah, T-Pain was my first concert I went to. I was a fan of T-Pain. I don't know why I didn't even bring up T-Pain. But yeah, T-Pain was really good back in the day. He still is. I've got two best concerts. So I feel like the best one I went to was Jill Scott. She came here a few years ago. And I think she was just an amazing performer and the energy was there. My second best one, I would say, is Beyonce because she was just 10 out of 10. I don't feel like I liked the energy or like the crowd as much as I did with Jill Scott, but the performance was 10 out of 10. Yeah. I actually was thinking about it. I thought it was a Kanye West album, but I think it was Maroon 5, Songs About Jane. That was my first album. A Spice Girl. I would say Blunt Spice. I'm very blunt. On and On by Erykah Badu. I would love if SZA covered one of my songs. I would love that. That would make me, I would die if she did that. So yeah, SZA. I would say Michael Jackson had the most influence, especially with music videos and stuff. That's when it became a thing. And yeah, so I think Michael Jackson definitely. I think what my current self would tell my future self is breathe. And be spontaneous, like stop thinking, just do. Music changes for me. Before I did music was more of a way of feeling heard. And now it's like a way of expression. And sometimes I don't want to express myself. So sometimes it's kind of like the mirror I need. So it depends. Like as a listener, music is just a way to relax and figure out how I feel or just to have fun and not even care about how I feel. And then as an artist, sometimes it's a bit too in my face. But then also when I do figure out how I feel, it feels like a relief, like I'm just releasing parts of me that I need to release. So yeah. I'll listen to Sexy Reds because I might as well turn up before I die, you know? I might as well shake my ass one more time before I die. I feel like I've always wanted to be a musician, but I would say from probably the age of 9, I don't know why I remember 9 and 11 of the years where I wanted to do things in life. Yeah, I think I've always wanted to be a musician. So 9 was the age.